On today's episode, I finally, after years and years and years, do something in golf I have been meaning to do for ages.
Yes, that on the way. Also, I say something which is potentially going to get me cancelled. This may be Tom Green's last episode of Golf is Ruining My Life. Sorry, Rory McIlroy. Start the show.
Oh, I know. We missed you. It's been a long, 3 days? But we're here again. Welcome back once more as we begin our quest to answer the truth about golf. This is Golf is Ruining My Life with Tom Price and him, Tom Green.
That's it. I'm the other Tom in your lives. And since we last spoke, Price, I have been played into my golf club.
Oh, it happened. Oh, I'm so ruddy proud of you. Tell me how it went. How many holes did you play? What was the chat? What anecdotes did you wheel out?
So I'll start from the beginning because it's probably the best place to start. I rolled up and straight into the interview, and it's a little bit of a more old school golf club, right? Mm-hmm. So we were in the dining area, which is where my interview was, and there was a lovely lady from the committee, and there was Danny, who's the head of membership, who was excellent. And as you said, it's not really an interview, is it? It's more of just a getting to know you and what's your past in golf and what do you do, and it's more of them, as you rightly said. It's more of them telling you about what the golf club is and what to expect, as opposed to anything else. If I'm honest.
Absolutely. It's not an inquisition. They're not going to be finding out, are you the right sort? It's maybe the idea of an interview is a hangover from those dark days, which are long for a lot of places behind us. But basically, it's them going, this is what we do. This is when the roll-up happens, and all that stuff, right?
That's
you must have... Oh, I mean, I bet you passed that with flying colours. Did you swear? Did you drop any appalling and hard right political opinions?
Oh, you know me, Price. I took my MAGA hat off at the door. No, I was polite. I was lovely. I took my hat off because that was the thing. All of a sudden, I realised I was like, oh, God, I need to remember all my golf rules. I took a different pair of trainers with me because I didn't want to wear golf shoes inside because I didn't know it was one of those courses. I took my hat off as soon as we went in the clubhouse. And when I was sitting there doing this, I do a golf podcast with you, Price, twice a week, as you well know. I've played golf my whole life. And even I was intimidated by it, which really made me feel for the people who had just taken up golf, how scary it must be to get into this sport when there are so many rules and so many do's and don'ts. Even I, someone who loves this sport and knows it like the old back of my hand, was a bit intimidated. Scary,
what sort of
innit?
questions did they ask this? They asked how you got into golf. I mean, was it really just that sort of lucid chat? Was it just them finding out about you? Or?
Yeah, well, how long I've lived in the area, what I've done in golf, how often I've played, do I have a handicap where I've been a member in the past?
Yeah, okay.
And that was it, really. Obviously,
how long did it last
the podcast a little bit. Oh, half an hour, I'd say.
An episode. A Golf is Ruining My Life episode. And
it was a full episode. Obviously, I did an ad break in the middle.
Did you suddenly scream ads halfway through?
Yeah. I said, right, please like and rate and review this interview, and we'll be back after these. Ads.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
It was
almost worth scuppering the whole thing just to do that.
It was fun. It was really nice. And, I could talk golf for my whole life, so it was essentially just chatting about that. And
did you ask them any questions? It's always good when they say, have you got any questions for us? And you can be like, oh. Did you drop a big one on them?
Well, the only thing I was trying to get an answer on was they are now full on 7-day members, so I can't be a full-blown member because they dropped the joining fee. The golf club I'm joining dropped the joining fee very briefly and have had an influx of members. I think they needed to get a bit of money into the club, drop the joining fee, get the membership full, off we go again. Yeah. So I can't be a 7-day. I can be a 7-day plus sort of member. 7-day restricted, I think is the term.
What does that mean? So you can't play on Sunday morning or something?
Well, exactly. So I was like, what does that mean? Because, I really want to try and play on Sunday and Saturday mornings now because that's a really good time for me. And they were like, yeah, that's the only time you can't play. So it's afternoons on weekends, which is what I had at our old place when I first joined.
Yeah. That's a shame. But also, it's one of those things that in however many months, you can upgrade your membership. It's a bit like when people go to university on an English and drama degree and then change to full drama once they've got away from their parents. That's just a random example I've thought of.
Just an example, eh?
Yeah, just a random example.
Just an example.
So you had the interview and established the fact that you're not allowed to play half the time. And then did you go out and play?
Half the time.
Did you go out and play with them?
Yeah. So, firstly, I was really impressed by the golf club because I had no idea what to expect, and I've only moved to this area quite recently, so I didn't know. It was pretty fancy. It was pretty old school. They celebrated their 125 years last year, and
so it's a young
it
course.
Really is like exactly just sprouted up. Mm-hmm. And you could see like a lot of the membership are super proud to be members there, which I think is really cool. All of them walking around with the branding on. I was like, this is sort of exactly the sort of place I wanted to join, because I wanted to join somewhere that was quite, prestigious without spending the £10,000 that some clubs around here wanted me to pay. Yeah. Centurion. Mm-hmm. Or whatever it is, 12 grand at Woburn, like ridiculous money to drop on a golf membership.
That is stupid elite. I mean, that's just
ridiculous.
There's no point in there's no point in chasing that. I tell you what, as a mark of, you'll know when the fame of Golfers Ruining My Life, if it ever happens, has gone to our heads when we join Woburn or Centurion. That's the mark in this. As soon as Tom and I start casually talking about the round I had at Sunningdale last week, you'll know to leave. Go and find a more relatable
Hold
podcast.
on. Can I be clear? When that happens, you lot are coming with us. We're dragging you through those doors as well. If we're there, you're there, is what I am going to say.
So because we've played together at this place that you joined. We filmed something there a while ago, and I was really impressed with it. I remember arriving and going, "Oh, it's nice here." Like the first impression's a big one, and then it's got some great holes. And in fact, breaking news, we should reveal to the listener the exchange of WhatsApps that we had a couple of days ago. We actually have a date in the diary to play golf together, which is the first time in ages.
Yep. You're going to come to leafy Hertfordshire, and we're going to have 18 holes. I think we'll probably film some stuff. We won't film loads, but we'll film maybe a couple of holes. Yeah. And funny, Tom, I don't know if you remember this. When we played the course last,
we really played 9 holes, didn't we? Or did we play 18?
Well, yeah, but we played a very strange selection of 9.
Yes. Why was that? What did we do? Did we get it wrong, or did someone guide us?
I've got no idea. This was what I was trying to work out as we started playing golf. Because last time we played the golf club I'm now a member at, we played with lovely Simon Dyson, professional golfer, played at the Masters famously. Yeah. He took us round. You can actually go watch that video on our YouTube channel if you want. Golf is Ruining My Life.
Go back a bit.
Yeah, you got to scroll.
You'll get it.
I don't know why we ended up playing the selection of holes we did, because I think we played something mad, like 1, 2, 3... 14, 15, 16, 17, or something like that.
Like it was a playoff vibes.
Like it was, like we were Rory. Because I said to, I didn't kick up a bit of a fuss, but I said to Danny, the guy who was showing us around, I was like, well, I've already played the front 9, so I'd love to go out on the back 9 today. And we had to like sneak into a few other people who were playing the back 9, and then quite quickly realised, oh no, I have played these holes actually. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. Sorry about that. And it's also the place you've got, because obviously down in the southeast, space is at a premium, and a lot of the golf courses in this neck of the woods are very old. So often they're quite short and on land which you can't easily extend. So they do get. The course I play at is a short but very difficult course, and it's the same sort of thing. Because I remember, like the first is a very drivable par 4, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what we've seen of the course is not representative of the course that I went on to play. I'll say the course, it's Porter's Park, and I was really impressed, Tom.
Yeah.
It's not very, like, when you go and look at, like, Centurion, for example, it's very jazz hands, it's very, like, slick and shiny and all that sort of stuff. That's not what this place was, in my opinion, at all. The clubhouse is still quite old school, not that I mind that.
Yeah.
The course is immaculate, and the course is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
One of those where you've got bending par 4s and, like, tree-lined fairways. Just really, really nice golf.
And also, it's because it's on a lump of... It's on a bit of a hill, isn't it? So you get a few. Yeah. And I tell you what, mate, Nothing gives me the golfing frisson more than an elevated tee. Give me those elevated tees. Because and often you get, and here's a thought, often you get an elevated tee on a par 3 for whatever reason, but there are a couple at your place which are elevated tees on par 4s. And that gives you that almost like a drone eye view of how the hole unfolds.
What's that, Tom? You want to know how my first 2 shots went when I was playing?
No, I didn't. Not sure I asked that. No, I'm okay, thanks. So,
well, I don't think I've ever actually on a drive done this before, but I hit the shaft. Have you ever done that? You hit the shaft.
Wow. You know you're supposed to hit the club bit at the end. With
the face. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, the technology and everything. That's what you're supposed to hit. Oh, wow.
So bear in mind, you've been in an interview being like, I've played golf a bit. Oh, have I played golf, mate? Yeah, I'll see you out there. Yeah, I got a golf podcast, Great Britain's 5th, actually. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I worked on the Challenge Tour for a few years. So, took a driver, shanked it into the bushes. And the guys I was playing with, Neil, who was getting played in, and Danny, who's the head of membership there, was like, oh, listen, it's a friendly match. Take a mulligan. Proceeded to do the same shot again, so that's two off the shaft.
You didn't. You hit the shaft twice, but this is okay. You've hit a low point.
Yeah,
and this is what you come back for. What? How? Why on earth? Nerves? Swinging too quick? Old school Tom Green, swinging too quick, maybe.
I think my type of golf, I've said this so much on this show, but my type of golf, I am not athletic. I wasn't a footballer. I didn't play football at school. I didn't play cricket. I didn't play rugby. Okay. I'm not naturally athletic. Yeah. Any sort of skill I've got in this game of golf has come through just practice.
Practice, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck.
Yeah.
But has come through just repeating it and playing 3 times a week. That's the only way I'm ever good.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone feels the same.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. I just don't think I can roll up without going to the range or having some swings first and be able to hit a half-decent one on the first. It was guaranteed. And then I topped my 7-wood. My irons were thin. It took about 3 holes for me to warm up. And I'm just not that guy. Like, you can turn up and, okay, you might not be playing to the best level, but you can come and turn up and play to pretty much your level straight out the car. No, I just can't do that.
I've hit, I don't know if I agree. I can, sometimes I can get away with it. And you do that thing where you hit that, that low, weird slice and it sort of ends on the fairway and everyone goes, oh, well, okay, you're all right. And you're thinking...
No pictures on the scorecard.
Yeah, well, let's say exactly. So I'll definitely do that. But the problem is, if you don't warm up properly, the problem for me is just it's a physical one. My butt, I don't turn properly and everything just gets very whippy. And also, you just... you're much more nervous, whereas if you hit a few in the net. But then also, I've got this golden rule, which is if I'm hitting the ball well in the net, I'm going to have a bad round. And oh my God... if that happens every single time, if I'm having problems in the nets and I'm hitting a few weird thin ones or I shank it in the nets, part of me is like, we're on, today's the day. Because it always flips when I get on the tee. I have no idea why. No idea at all.
So I recovered from that and then actually went on a nice little par run, got 3 or 4 pars in a row and was playing quite nicely. Wasn't striking the ball well, but was... You know what my game's like. Striking the ball a bit thin, but it just sort of ends up where I want it anyway.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot of that going on. Took an 8-iron on a par 3. It was thin as all hell, but ended like 5 foot from the flag. I was like, fine, whatever.
Take
it and run.
And then did you hold the birdie putt? Of course you didn't. That's not the point.
No, that's probably
do you know how I know that you didn't hold the birdie putt?
Go on.
Because you'd have texted me and told me.
Yeah, of course.
I'd have found out separately. Ads on the way, by the way. But I'm hopefully having a bit of a breakthrough. I'm doing a couple of things today which are quite, not odd, but something which I very rarely get time to do. One thing in particular which I'm excited about. And sometimes, I'm not playing very well at the moment, and I've taken a very new approach to not playing well, which I think is it's weirdly working well for me.
Okay, so that on the way after ads, I'm also going to throw a player we all love under the bus. And just to wrap up my membership chat, I got the email last night, I've been accepted as a member. Because that wasn't said on the day. You got an email.
Surely. So hang on. So at the end, they were like, well, we'll be in touch.
Yeah. No, Tom, exactly that. So as the round ended, me and lovely Neil, who we played with, had to do this little bit of comedy theatre where we were like, well, I might see you, I might not. Swap numbers, we might play one day, we might not. Ta-ra.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah, it's a bit of comedy theatre. But then they did buy us, the club bought us pints in the clubhouse afterwards, and we sat and had a lovely beer and watched what was the players. It was all very lovely, Tom. It's all very lovely.
It's really, that's a real sort of, that's a real cozy warmth there. That's what a golf club should be. A safe escape from real life, but one that you feel you've had to jump through a few hoops to get to, when you haven't really at all. But the more you feel like that, the more you're going to feel like you've achieved something. Yeah,
exactly. Just to wrap it up fully, I'm so excited to be a golf member again. And if you're not a golf member and listen to the show, it has been a fun process finding the club and joining, and it feels like this is the start of something really exciting for my golf. So do it, because it's been fun.
Totally do it, 100% do it. All right, ads. We'll do some more waffle in a second. Don't go anywhere. Hello, welcome back to Golf is Ruining My Life with two men who are now members of golf clubs. That's pretty exciting. So here's the thing I'm doing today. Well, you're not a full member, are you, mate? You're a 7-day minus member.
Oh, yeah, 7-day restricted. Yeah,
exactly. Can't use this locker room, and don't go in the spike bar because you're not allowed in there.
I'll tell you what, that was good. They do have lockers for us all. That was good.
Wow, that's good, and also quite rare. A lot of places you get on the waiting list.
That was one of my questions for them. Are there lockers? Yeah, we got lockers, and we got electric ones for you as well if you want that.
So good. Oh, that's so good.
Anyway, look for that.
So I'm doing something today which is a good thing to do. It's something you should think about doing now you've got the membership. I've got a pretty quiet morning before I go and do my radio show. Don't
worry, Tom. I'll fill that with some emails, man.
Exactly,
don't tell me that.
Mate, can you follow up on this? No, Tom. So what I'm going to do, once I've edited this very podcast you're listening to now, I'm going to head up to my golf course. And I might go on the course, but I might just practice. I'm thinking, as part of our mission to get better this year, I'm thinking we should put a number on that, by the way, Tom. We need to work out what is our destination, right? For me,
I know mine. It's yours that I'm interested in, because I've seen so many comments on our TikTok channel recently saying it's 5 and below where the work really begins.
Yeah, and I can't be bothered. So I'm off 4.9 at the moment, and I'm clinging on by my fingernails to 4.9. The way I've played the last 2 rounds is just a disaster, right? But as I was saying before, I've got a new approach to playing badly, and I'm really genuinely not letting it get to me. I am being completely chilled about it. I am looking back through all the golf I've played and realizing that whenever I go through a weird, bad period, I always come out the other side. I always come out with improvements, with new things on board and new information on board. And for example, I think I've worked out exactly what I've been doing wrong, which is the old chicken wing. I only ever play well when I know you've got chicken wing issues. When I swing slowly and I make sure that as I come in, that moment, I'm right-handed, that left arm is nice and straight and rigid and strong, a strong left arm through the ball. And I sort of realised the last 2 or 3 rounds I've played, I've just not been doing that at all. I've been all right and getting that right hand overactive and trying to and that's why I've been pulling it and all sorts has been going wrong. So I feel like that has sort of calmly, that realisation has calmly come about without sweating and getting angsty about it. And, bothering you on this podcast about it, which is what I've always done in the past. But I'm going to go up this morning, and my chipping game is in a new place. I've got some chipping news for you, Tom.
Wow. Yeah. This is what I was interested to see, what you were going to go and practice on, because I know the facilities that you've not got like a big driving range. So I know this is only going to be either putting or chipping. What is it you're going to do?
We can't all have driving ranges at our golf course, Tom. That's fine. Whatever. What I'm going to do is practice my chipping, because my chipping has been really bad recently. My big disaster round a couple of weeks ago, my 24, I properly duffed, like, I think 4 chips. And this is why when people say, how do you shoot 24? It's like, well, the chipping duffs and then missing short putts, and then it all sort of escalates. But this time, what I mean is this time I've stayed calm beneath it. I've just stayed a bit more sanguine underneath it all, rather than raging about it. I'm just like, it'll come. But I have started watching, thanks to Amos, who's recommended this, by the way. And by the way, there's some huge Amos news, which we need to do on this show. Huge Amos news.
As the more we talk in today's show, the more I realise I've got so many different things that I need to tell you.
We need to do that on the next episode. Amos news on the next episode.
Yeah.
But he is a massive, massive fan of Dan Greaves, right?
Oh, I knew you were going to say Dan Greaves. I just knew you were going to say Dan Greaves. The man is a magician.
I cannot tell you. Let me give you one example of the change that's come about through watching 2 Dan Greaves videos and talking to Amos a lot about it.
Hold on, let me just interject very quickly here for people that don't know. Dan Greaves is a chipping expert and he's based out of Woburn, funny enough, second Woburn mention of the show. And he does, could do with a few quid. He does a lot of work on chipping and has different things like release 2 or release 1 and all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. He's got the 3 release method, which you must go and watch on YouTube as soon as you finish listening to this or watching this. And so I've watched a couple of vids on that, and I'll give you one example of something which has massively changed my game, and that is it's actually release 2. So that's when you release quite, how to describe it audio-wise, quite early on. So you're really throwing the club or letting the weight of the club flood underneath the ball, right? You're not over-controlling it and hitting the ball off your left hip. It's almost like you're flipping the club as the tip of the club almost hits your groin. It's there right in the middle, bang, and you just flow underneath it. And that felt like a big, almost quite a scary thing, because I just assume I'm going to thin it, because I think thinning chips is my version of your falling over. You've got a weird thing in your head about falling over.
I do.
Yeah. What I mean, this is a good question actually. What is your weird golfing paranoia or fear that doesn't really happen that often, but you're terrified of it? I mean, is it just the game at large, or is there a specific shot that you're scared of? We'd love to know. Write it in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Drop us an email at toms@golfersreallymylife.co.uk.
I think I've got 2. I think you're right. I think one of them is I've got so. What do I think about them? I've got so many. Yeah. I definitely am scared of. I'm definitely scared of thinning everything, especially out of bunkers. I hate that. Yeah. The one that you mentioned is so big in my game, which is I'm terrified of slipping on mats in winter when my golf shoes aren't sturdy enough. And I'm terrified of the mega slice, which just when I become a bit lazy, I could just send one to the moon.
Yeah. It's so annoying because you want to do a lazy swing, an effortless swing, but if you do that, or if I do that, it's all arms and it slices. So I'm doing this thing where I'm doing this release 2, and I'm using a pitching wedge from about 60 or 70 yards out. Now, my approach before with those shots has always been, I get my 54 out, I punch it, and I just basically do a high shot that goes really high, and sometimes you get spectacular results, and I'm pretty good at those shots, and I often do all right, but I don't really get as close to the flag as I should do. From 60 to 70 yards, I should be getting closer, and that often has a knock-on effect on my game, right? So that shot is either for glory, because you're going for the birdie, or it's for safety, and you're trying to get up and down to save the hole, right, and get a par. And
can I interject here again, Tom? Because I really want to picture this. 60 to 70 yards is what, to the front of the green? So this is actually
to the
not...
flag.
To the flag. Okay, so you could be like just off the green at this stage, maybe.
No, well, yeah, on the apron, maybe. But if you picture the 9th at our place, right? It's just as you've gone past, or my place now, just as you've gone past the ravine.
The water. I know exactly what you mean.
The creek.
Okay.
So it's that sort of 60, 70 yards. You know, a 54, for me, a 54 degree is sort of 3/4 54 from there, super high, which makes you so vulnerable to the wind, and you have to hit that really, really well. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting my pitching wedge.
Yes. Right,
and I'm going back not that far, and I'm throwing the club, and I'm doing this what feels very nervous, because I like to control the club through the ball. I'm a control freak, right? That says a lot about, this is the thing about golf. All your approaches to shots tells us everything about your psyche, and I'm trying to control the ball through. And now suddenly I'm just throwing the club, and I'm hitting much lower, and it bites beautifully. This is all Dan Greaves, and it bites beautifully. And the first round I did it, I was playing 9 holes, and I got 2 birdies because I hit that shot from 60 yards. And I just thought, this is I can't believe I've been playing golf without having this shot on board. Like, it's mad that I've done that.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because I think that could be what takes you from 5 and below, because you work on your game. I think when you get to like 18 or 18 or whatever, you work on just bringing your game in, keeping it down the middle, maybe getting a little bit further. Yeah. But if you could get to the point now where if you are on a par 4 and you miss the green, but you can almost guarantee up and down. Yeah. That's such a big difference. Obviously, green in reg is so important. I think that's the key for people getting lower scores. Yeah. Is try and get green in reg.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But you can't guarantee that. Yeah. But if you can with some certainty go, do you know what? I'm on the 8 Pro now. I've got off the left a little bit.
I'll be fine.
I will get up and down here. This is absolutely fine. That's a game changer.
It makes such a difference because what happens is that it affects everything in your game. And we all know that all the different types of shots affects everything, but I really think this is a big one. When you're, say you're on a par 4 and you're taking that second shot in, you got a 7 iron in or 6 iron in, and if part of you thinks, I've got to hit the green because my chipping is just a disaster, the pressure that puts on that 6 or 7 iron in is in you. The tension is then. We know tension is the enemy, right? You can, if you are hitting into those greens and your brain's thinking, yeah, but don't worry, if you miss the green a bit left or right, don't worry about it. You know your chipping game means you're going to get up and down. You're going to hit better shots. Then the other knock-on effect of being able to really scramble, I guess is what we're talking about here, but knowing that you're going to get up and down consistently is that moment when you walk off the green to the next tee thinking, I'm okay. It's like a safety shield. You know what I mean? It's like there's a protection that those shots give you that relaxes your whole game. And if you don't have that protection, and I think this is what happened to me with my 24 and then my 14 over, is that I was just scared of all my short game. And that made everything, that spooked, if you like. It's like if there's a pack of dogs, it only takes one dog to sense something, to sense danger, and the whole pack is spooked. And I think that it was a bit like that with my chipping. That thing was gone. My short game just wasn't at the races, and everything else fell apart.
I think the coolest thing about Dan Greaves, and especially being in the UK, which I know a lot of our listeners are in the UK, is that he does lessons. You could just book in and go and see him. Price, you could just go and have a lesson with him. Which
Amos is going to have lessons with him. Amos is going to go and do this, and I'm like, can I tag along and not have to pay because he's probably quite expensive.
The amazing thing he always does as well, I see in this video quite a lot, is he will be on the worst possible lie you can imagine. I am talking baked out, hard ground, the sort of thing that you view and go, well, this is screwed. I don't know how I'm going to get this off here. The sort
and you
of
start talking to your guys you're playing with. You start talking to the guys you're playing with going, mate, can I have relief?
This isn't right, is it? Is this a dry water bed? Are there any animals nesting here? And it's the sort of thing that I would always take a little 9-9. And my chipping game is mostly my 9-9 because I'm so comfortable with it. But you watch Dan on those surfaces and nothing changes. He'll go, right, release 2, under, and he pops the ball out. And you go, how have you got high on the ball off of that? That is absolutely ridiculous. Definitely go and check him out. I know Brilliant. Ricky Shields is a big fan of him as well.
Well, he needs to be. Rick Shields' chipping game is compared to how good Rick is at everything else. It's terrible. The other thing you can do as well is take a pet hedgehog with you and then just pop that down near the ball and go, yeah, this hedgehog's nesting just here, so I'm going to move the ball. Yeah. It's another way through it. If you need it.
I'm gonna throw someone under the bus, Tom. I need to mention
Well, we've got a couple minutes left, both of today's episode and indeed our entire edifice that is Golfers Ruining My Life, because Tom Green's about to ruin it all by slagging off my hero. So go on, mate.
I've got an issue with Rory McIlroy.
Okay. All right, cheers, everyone. Thanks so much. We've had a lovely run. We've really enjoyed getting to be UK's 5th biggest golf podcast. Go on then. What's the problem with Rory?
So, watching him in the Players last week, there was a couple of things in the press conference that just upset me as a golf fan. And I don't think he needed to say them. And one of them was he was asked about YouTube golf, and he was asked about Grant Horvath and what he thinks of YouTube golf. And his answer, I thought, was just a bit dismissive, if I'm honest, of what is such a big part of the game for so many people and what is growing the game. Rory often talks about how he wants to grow the game, and then a part of the game which is massively getting people into the sport, he was quite dismissive of, saying, he's like, this is not really for my age group. The guy's 35. You know what I mean? Like,
what does he mean as not his age group? What,
I've got no idea.
Younger golfers or older golfers? I don't understand.
Younger golfers. I think he means it. I think he just thinks it's for kids. Which
that's mad. I think that's so wrong. He's really got that wrong. Yeah, he's got that wrong. So
that upset me because I love YouTube golf and I think it grows the game and I think it's really important to grow the game. He was then asked whether he was going to play on the Champions Tour. So when he finishes playing golf, and he was super dismissive of that. Was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And for me, the issue with that is it clearly shows how much he doesn't enjoy it. And I think when you're a golf fan and you put so much time and effort into watching this sport and watching the PGA Tour and you idolise all these golfers, when they roll back the curtains and drop the sort of edifice of it and show that we actually don't like it that much, I just think that's a bit disappointing and sad.
I hear what you're saying, and I think a lot of golfers, a lot of professional sports people have a strong love-hate relationship with the sport. And I think Rory has got a strong love-hate relationship with the media, I'll be honest, because he's had a hell of a couple of years I mean, it's unbelievable. If you think about the combination of things he's had to go through, he's had to deal with the personal, right? We all know there was a marriage thing that happened, and thankfully it sounds like they're back together now. He had to go through the political because he was totally enmeshed in all the machinations of that, and he had a really bad time. And he's also had to go through the sports element of it because he hasn't won a major all this time, despite being the generational talent that he is. So he's had to deal with all this stuff. And do you know what? Sometimes I think you're right. He shouldn't have said the thing about not doing seniors tour, but he's doing a presser. He's asked questions constantly, right? I watched a video which was on the PGA Tour's Instagram, and it was him doing his press after he'd won Sawgrass, right? And it was endless. Now, I'm not saying, tiny violins and all that, poor guy, but it was endless. He had to go and do all these events, right? Being asked endless questions. And if you slip up once or twice and say, and you're right, the things you've just said, it's just a bit like, but that doesn't make me think that he is some kind of, not nice guy. I just think he's just got an opinion about YouTube golf and older golf that I don't agree with. I still think he's the best talent on the tour, and I still think he's magnificent, and I still desperately want him to win a major this year.
I was cheering JJ.
Are you kidding?
On the Monday. No.
What? Well,
I really.
Well.
I know.
You bloody curse you are. Can you never support me, please? It was your fault.
I want Rory to win the Masters. I really want Rory to win the Masters because I think he needs it. Yeah. And I do like him. I like him as a golfer.
He doesn't help himself. He doesn't help himself when he says those comments. That's it. It's that simple.
No. So I wanted JJ Spawn to do it, and I thought the phone incident was a bit disappointing as well when he grabbed that fan's phone off him. I don't know what the fan was doing. I don't know whether he shouted. I'm just like, oh, that's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame.
I think it's really hard for him not to have these flashpoints where things bubble up, And don't forget as well that to be, and this is especially true of sports where it's just you, where you're just one player, right? To be as elite and unbelievably good as he is, sometimes you've got to be a bit of a douche. Sometimes you've got to have that aggression. There's a lot of examples of golfers or tennis is another one. These guys are made differently to be that good, and you can't be lovely and cuddly all the time. You just can't. And sometimes your temper is going to get the better of you. And it's hard. It was hardly a massive incident when he took the phone off him. It sounds like that guy was being a douche as well. But I'm a big Rory fan, mate. It's going to take a lot more than a couple of comments to put me off him.
Don't have a go at YouTube golf and then start TGL. Is all I'm going to say.
I mean, nice.
Come on, mate. But I do want to stress that, I still want him to win the majors, and his golf was immaculate. He's such a good golfer. It just made me a bit sad. I just find it sad when professional golfers, and it's more often than you'd think. I think after playing with a few of these guys, they don't all love it like we love it.
No, that's true. Yes, I know what you mean.
And I want them to.
Yeah.
But I get why they don't. I get it.
We've had a few insights into that. It's really, really interesting. Luckily, we love it and you love it, and we love you for listening and watching to another episode of Golf is Ruining My Life. We'll be back again next Monday. Don't forget...
Well, I won't be. I've been cancelled.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be me
just
monologuing about how great Rory is. I'm just going to do a half-hour special defending Rory. But yeah, no, hopefully both of us will be back. And in the meantime, don't forget to, like, subscribe, write something in the comments, all that sort of stuff. You know the routine.
Yes. Hit that bell icon so you get a new video every single time we drop one. We're getting so many more views on YouTube now, which I'm really excited about. Make sure you go and subscribe if you're an audio-only listener. Head over to YouTube. Especially want to do that because what's happening next month, I think, might favour the YouTube people. So head over there. And we'll see you same time next time for more of this.
Bye!